Hello and welcome back to another reaction video. So we are going to watch 10 outdated rules you didn't know have been banned in WWE. So without further ado, y'all, we about to hop straight into this video. So let's watch right now.
There are certain rules and tropes in WWE that have become incredibly outdated. In relation to rules, there are rules that exist in a wrestling match that have been around for decades, yet they make no logical sense and are rarely enforced. In relation to tropes, these are things written in WWE lore that, while still officially a thing from a kayfabe perspective, are subjectively used based on the specific storyline, and this just leads to severe continuity errors. So with that being said, let's look at 10 outdated rules and tropes in WWE.
Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out wrestlemania.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel. Incredible!
Number 10. The Closed Fist. In every WWE match, an established rule exists which states that wrestlers aren't permitted to use a closed fist to punch their opponent. However, over the years, this rule has been heavily relaxed, so much so that certain wrestlers use punches as signature and even finishing moves. The logic behind closed fists being banned is that if open fists were legal during the match, then there would be a knockout just minutes into the match, and WWE would quickly turn into UFC 2.0. WWE have struggled to rationalize this rule in the past. In fact, when Roman Reigns...
I'm sorry. That looked real. That looked real.
Minutes into the match, and WWE would quickly turn into UFC 2.0. WWE have struggled to rationalize this rule in the past. In fact,
that was a real
when Roman
punch.
Reigns performs his Superman punch, WWE's commentary team
no way that was
the
fake.
fact that it's an illegal maneuver. Number 9. The referee is weak. Since WWE referees began to be incorporated into spots and matches, there is a common trope which relates to how they react and sell to any form of damage. When a referee takes a bump in a match, they are out of action for several minutes, even when they just get knocked over. Naturally, the reason for this from a storytelling perspective is so a wrestler can cheat or interference can go down, but it makes the referee in question look insanely weak. How does a simple knockdown render them unconscious? This is a common trait that is unlikely to ever go away. Whilst it certainly creates compelling drama, it's become rather stale as a predictable spot, and perhaps it's time for major companies such as WWE to rework the spot with a modern-day spin. 8. Automatic rematch clauses. One of the unwritten rules in WWE is that once a champion loses their title, they have an automatic rematch. However, WWE have been extremely selective in relation to how this has been applied. For instance, if the story WWE is telling at the time doesn't warrant a championship rematch, WWE will simply ignore the rule as if it doesn't exist. This was seen when Kofi Kingston lost the WWE title to Brock Lesnar in 2019. Instead of receiving his rematch, WWE opted to pretend that the rule doesn't exist, and Kingston nor WWE would never mention it on TV. This can become frustrating as a viewer, as the lack of consistency in relation to how it is applied can show a lack of care and attention on behalf of WWE. Number 7. 5-second grace period. A huge WWE rule that many fans aren't aware of is the 5-second grace period. This rule exists predominantly in tag team matches and states that when someone is tagged into a match, their partner has 5 seconds to exit the ring. You can often see referees counting to 5 when both wrestlers are in the ring, but it's not exactly a rarity for referees to completely forget and let it slide. In a modern-day WWE match, a ton of offense is conducted by 2 wrestlers in the ring, and this, in theory, should be a disqualification. To say the rule is outdated and nonsensical is an understatement, and WWE should look to remove it from their internal rulebook. Number 6. Chokes are illegal. Chokes are outright illegal in a WWE match, but this doesn't stop wrestlers using a chokehold as a submission move. Take, for instance, Samoa Joe. He would use his coquina clutch throughout his time in WWE, but it was never addressed as to just why Joe was allowed to perform the move. WWE has a weird policy on chokes, and it likely predominantly relates to their PG guidelines. Additionally, WWE's policy in relation to chokes goes one step further. According to WWE legend The Big Show, when WWE wrestlers pose with fans, they aren't permitted to pose in any way which replicates a choke. The Big Show has revealed that he's received several letters from WWE's legal department insisting he doesn't mimic a chokehold in any way, shape, or form. Number 5, WWE's
Also, too, I feel
formal-
like a lot of the censorship comes in too because of YouTube. Because they post their videos to YouTube, which brings in more views. So over here on YouTube, we get flagged for a lot of shit, which is why when I notice, like, when I'm watching matches, it'll freeze, which I don't remember them doing that so much. And I'm like, maybe they just doing that because of YouTube, censoring it. Like, it's really censored. The editing sometimes is kind of annoying. And I feel like a part of that is because of YouTube's policy.
Dress code. In 2004, Vince McMahon implemented a dress code for WWE wrestlers and personnel. This meant that wrestlers, upon arriving to WWE TV, had to wear smart business clothing. WWE executive Bruce Pritchard would discuss the implementation of the dress code on his Something to Wrestle podcast, and he has stated that Randy Orton absolutely hated the new ruling. He stated, "God, Randy Orton, as a matter of fact, Randy was like, why can't I just wear nice jeans? And jeans were on the X list. Randy didn't like it. And it was, I think that most of the guys looked at it like, kind of rolled their eyes and said, okay, we'll do it. But there was nobody that was, yay, we've got a dress code. Because the guys that dressed were already doing it. I think that it came down to seeing the guys that were dressed that looked really good like Batista and all those guys. It was like, god damn, they look sharp. And somebody walks in behind them with shorts and flip-flops or a Tommy Bahama shirt and Nike shoes, and you go, god damn. It was a combination of a lot of things that got us to that point. This rule is still ridiculed and criticized to this very day, and with Vince McMahon being officially out of the picture, it's no doubt time to remove the dress code policy from the company. Number 4, rope
not
breaks
trying to wear
in
your
no
granddad's
DQ
suit
or
no
gimmick
more.
matches. One of the most nonsensical things about certain gimmick matches is that rope breaks apply. Take, for instance, the Elimination Chamber match, which has been a WWE staple since 2002. Even though the match is a no DQ, rope breaks still apply and are still enforced by referees. Why is this? A great example of this in action is the acclaimed WWE title chamber match from 2019. The final two of the match were Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. When Bryan applied the yes lock, Kingston reached the ropes and Bryan simply let go. Bryan wouldn't be disqualified if he continued using the hold and Kingston passed out, so what is the logic in letting go? This is one of those rules that is just a given in certain matches, but when you actually think about the rationale behind the established rule, that's when the flaws come to light. Number 3, 30-day title defense rule. A commonly used rule in WWE is that champions have 30 days to defend the title or they will be stripped of their respective championship. This has been seen a number of times throughout WWE history. One time was 2017 when Naomi went down with an injury.
Damn.
WWE's explanation of Naomi being stripped of the SmackDown Women's title was that she would be unable to abide by the 30-day ruling. When this happened, fans were quick to criticize WWE for only applying the rule when it suited the storyline.
What?
Brock Lesnar, who has been a part-time world champion on and off for the past several years, has never once abided by the 30-day rule. In fact, he's gone months at a time without defending the title. This has also been seen recently with undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Since taking on a part-time schedule, Reigns has missed a number of pay-per-view events, which means he has also broken the 30-day rule.
Wow.
Number 2, the 5 count. One of the rules every single WWE fan knows is the 5 count. This relates to when a wrestler reaches the ropes, then they have till the count of 5 to break the hold in question. In theory, if a wrestler fails to break their hold at 5, it should result in an automatic disqualification, but this rarely, if ever, happens in WWE. This rule is outdated simply because it's never enforced, making it completely pointless. The rule still being present on WWE TV makes the referees look incompetent and inferior, as when the wrestler has failed to break their hold at 5, the referee stands there awkwardly as if they have no power or authority.
Yeah.
Number 1, Royal Rumble Elimination Rules. The Royal Rumble match is one of the most popular match types in WWE history. Debuting in 1988, the match type has become synonymous with WWE and specifically the start of WrestleMania season. Unfortunately, there is a rule that exists in the Rumble match which is flawed and needs to be removed. This
Damn.
relates to how Rumble competitors can be eliminated by someone not legally in the match. This has been seen a number of times throughout the past few decades.
Yeah.
A wrestler not legally in the match will enter the Rumble match, proceed to eliminate their arch rival, and this elimination will then, for some reason, stand.
That's
This has also been
crazy.
seen when a previously eliminated wrestler comes back into the match to get revenge on the person who eliminated them. It's unlikely that this rule is ever going to change, as WWE view it as a storytelling device rather than anything that respects the integrity of the Rumble match itself. Well guys,
That's
there you have it,
crazy.
10 outdated rules and tropes in WWE.
All right, you guys, that is going to do it for this reaction. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see y'all in the next one. Toodles.